Hello everyone, I invite you to every Friday cryptocurrency review. Let's start by checking the current situation on the BTC to USDT pair, taking into account the 4-hour interval. First, we will use the yellow line to mark the local downward trend line from which the price came out at the top. It is worth mentioning that the place where the downtrend line was left is also the place where the yellow EMA cross 50 line crossed the blue EMA cross 200 line from below, thus confirming the return to a strong upward trend. Now we can move on to marking support areas in case the correction deepens. And here, using the trend-based fib extension tool, we will mark a very strong support zone from $30,996 to $29,839. But if the support does not hold the price, we still have support at $28,332. Looking the other way, we can determine resistance areas in a similar way. However, here we will mark the resistance at $36,303, which is a very strong resistance that the price must face before we move towards $40,000. Please pay attention to the CHOP index, which indicates that a lot of energy has accumulated. On the RSI indicator, despite the recovery, there is room for a further decline. But at this point you should add the stock indicator, which shows that the energy in the downward movement is running out, which may result in the opposite direction and the price increases again. As the second chart in today's review, we will check ETH in pair with USDT, also on a 4-hour time frame. Let's start by using the yellow line to determine the local downward trend from which the price broke at the top. Now let's move on to marking the support places. We will use the trend-based fib extension tool to mark supports, and as you can see, first we have a support zone from $1,772 to $1,744, and then it is worth defining a second strong support zone from $1,674 to $1,621. Looking the other way, we can similarly mark places where the price should encounter resistance on the way up. And here you can see that the price has been rejected by the resistance zone from $1,844 to $1,894. Only when we come out on top will we be able to see an upward movement to the second zone from $1,976 to $2,034. When we turn on EMA cross 50 and 200, we can see that the yellow line cuts the blue EMA cross 200 line from below, which confirms a strong upward trend. The CHOP index indicates that there is energy for another move. The RSI indicator shows a rebound with room for further movement. But the stock indicator shows that we are approaching the lower limit, which slows down the declines and may result in another increase. Moving on, we will check the LTC chart. Starting with the blue lines marking the upward trend channel from which the price broke down. But locally you can see a sideways exit from the yellow downward trend line. In order to determine support for the price, we will use the fib retracement tool, and thanks to it we can see that the price is struggling to climb out of the strong support zone from $68.86 to $56.22. If the current zone did not support the price, we could see a decline to the area support at $40.26. Looking the other way, we can similarly determine the resistance areas that the price must face. And here we see that the first significant resistance is at $78.72. And then we have a strong resistance zone from $92.60 to $102.46. The CHOP index indicates that there is still some energy left for the move. The RSI indicator has a slight recovery and there is room for the price to go a little higher. When we look at the stock indicator, we see that it has exceeded the upper limit, which influenced the recovery, but in combination with the RSI indicator it may be slight recovery and another increase in the LTC price. The last one in today's list is the MKR pair to USDT chart on a one-day time frame. We will start by marking the downward trend line from which the price moved sideways and then moved upwards. Going further, we can move on to marking support areas when we start a larger correction. And here you can see that the price has returned to the first support zone from $1,380 to $1,211. When the support is broken, the next zone is from $944 to $755. Looking the other way, we see that the MKR price has been rejected by the resistance zone from $1,506 to $1,742. If we manage to break out of it, we can see an upward movement towards the resistance level at $2,082. Please look at the CHOP index, which indicates that there is still energy for moves. The RSI indicator is recovering again with room for a further price drop. But currently you can see that the stock indicator is moving at the lower limit, which may stop the price decline and reverse the direction of price movement. Technical analysis is provided by a third party and for informational purposes only. It does not reflect the views of CryptoDaily, nor is it intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, or financial advice.